Welcome back to the channel. And I read this headline. I read this article so you don't have to. I like doing this shit. But like Game Pass and the subscription service are dangerous. Former PlayStation boss warns devs. This shit like the Game Pass hate propaganda never stops. And when I first seen the article, before I read it, I'm like, what the fuck is Sean Layden saying now? Because we all know Sean Layden talks a whole lot of shit. This nigga been working at Tencent for how long? Come on now, bro. One of the most predatory companies in the goddamn world, especially in gaming, and you're gonna try to talk down on Microsoft and Game Pass. But then I read the article, and it's fucking Yoshida. See, Yoshida don't like Western development anyway. He didn't like the Western ideals that Sony took on when Sony Interactive Entertainment was created and Sony computers were kind of shelled to the wayside. So he hated everything Sony did when they went to California. From PlayStation 4 to now, he hated Sony for everything they did. He didn't like Jim Ryan. He didn't like motherfucking, what the fuck is his name? Herman Host. He didn't like none of their ass. So, where he's coming from in all this, he doesn't like the way Western gaming is going anyway. So, there's some bias in there. But we get into this article. He says a lot of things. And we're gonna start off with saying that yeah, he calls Game Pass really dangerous. And like his quote is in here. He says, if the only way for people to play games is through subscriptions, that's really dangerous. When did Game Pass become the only way to play games, Yoshida? It's so wild that he says it. Like if the only way to play games is through subscriptions, when did that become the fucking case? It's gonna become the case. Why? Because these developers are charging $80, $90 for games that are not fucking worth it. They're not worth the money, Yoshida. And he's real big into indie development. He don't like big AAA companies anyway, except PlayStation. He likes PlayStation when they're not Western. But he advocates for the little guys, for the indie developers. Or so he says. But then he goes on to say, because what type of games can be created would be dictated by the owner of subscription services. You know, subscription services need a diverse portfolio to function. That goes for music, that goes for TV, and that goes for fucking gaming. There is no subscription service that has the same that has one genre. You think they're gonna keep subs? So the types of products that get created have to be diverse. Why? Because you need a lot of motherfuckers to be in a subscription service for it to be sustained. Why would he say that? Game Pass has been going on for 10 years now. 10 years of Game Pass is already going on. And it is the most comprehensive catalog of games you can possibly find in gaming for one price. Some of the best shooters, some of the best RPGs, some of the best JRPGs, some of the best strategy games, some of the best. Ah, oh, come on now, bro, Yoshida, you can't be talking like this when the evidence is there. The gaming industry is getting fucking worse though in pricing. So Game Pass is going to become more powerful for people because nobody want to be buying all this shit for $80. Niggas didn't want to buy that shit for 70, but there's some. I mean, there's some game. I mean, I bought Dragon Age of Velguard. There's some shit like, hey, I'm gonna buy it. Like, I come on now. But like, there's a whole lot of things. Like, I'm not buying Call of Duty every year, but if I could play Call of Duty in Game Pass, I'm definitely gonna fucking do it. Why not? When the bros be like, hey, bro, we on Warzone, I can get on that shit. No cost to me. Why? Because I'm already in Game Pass, bro. I'm already playing so many other things in Game Pass. Why the fuck would I not just play Call of Duty in Game Pass? You want me to buy that shit? It's not worth it to me. Call of Duty is worth playing. It's not worth buying for damn sure. And they give us the option to do that. And then he goes on to add, that's really, really risky. Because there always must be fresh new ideas tried by small developers to create the next wave of development. Yeah, bro. Yeah, just like Sandfall Interactive, their first fucking game, Expedition 33, launched at Game Pass day one, did fucking phenomenal work, and is one of the most innovative turn-based RPGs to date. Oh my gosh, bro, Yoshida, who are you talking to? You're not talking to gamers right now. You're talking to some motherfuckers that know shit about gaming because Game Pass just put Sandfall Interactive in front of hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people across so many platforms. People that wouldn't have tried the game. Why? Because I mean, it's a turn-based game. They don't really fuck with turn-based games like that. They play it in Game Pass. Got a lot of fucking sales off of it. Oh my goodness, Yoshida, bro. You can't be. And I understand. It's because Microsoft is the one running fucking Game Pass. That is why nobody liked the way Game Pass is. Because Game Pass wouldn't be a thing if Microsoft didn't create it. That is exactly why. Game Pass wouldn't be Game Pass if Microsoft didn't create it. There wouldn't be a Game Pass if Microsoft didn't create it. And that's what a lot of motherfuckers don't like about it. Because no other company could do that. You say, but if big companies dictate what games can be created, is Microsoft out here telling motherfuckers what type of games to make? They're developers. But all the, like, Sega putting their game in there day one, you think Microsoft just went up to them like, Sega, we need this game made, and you're going to put it in there day one. Microsoft is only doing it to Microsoft games. They're not out here telling the whole gaming industry, you only can make this type of game now so you can put it in Game Pass. Who the fuck? Microsoft don't hold that type of fucking power. Not yet, anyway. As long as these big ass companies keep getting more and more greedy, Game Pass is gonna look more and more like the option to go with. That is just how consumerism is, bro. Where everybody trying to get the best price, Microsoft is giving us the best price. You can't blame Game Pass for Microsoft giving us the best price, even though they strategically planned the fuck out of this. But it's working. They planned this shit 10 years ago. He said, I don't think that it will advance the industry. Bro, bro. Tell it to Sandfall Interactive, bro. Tell that to Pocket Pal. Tell that to so many indie developers coming out to make an innovative new product for people to try out and succeeding. And they're with Game Pass. Like, come on now, bro. I don't offer the success of them to Game Pass, of course, because they made an amazing product. People are gonna find it. But Game Pass put their ass in front of a lot of motherfuckers, bro. Xbox put them in a front of a lot of motherfuckers that interacted with their product that probably definitely wouldn't have if they didn't have Game Pass. That is just a thing that Game Pass does. If I'm saying it hurting sales, of course it hurts sales. Because motherfuckers that wasn't gonna buy the game wasn't gonna buy it anyway. But they did play the fucking game. And that is something that wouldn't have happened if they didn't play it in Game Pass. So the exposure of your game to a whole lot of people that wouldn't have bought it anyway, they're still playing it, that's not a sale for you. But they experienced your game and they wasn't even gonna fuck with it anyway to start with. So was it ever gonna be a sale? That is how I see a whole lot of these situations going on. Because with me, I buy a lot of my games. My friends we were just talking about that where I bought like a Avowed and shit. They're like, wow, you have Game Pass. You didn't have to buy Avowed. Bro, I fuck with Obsidian heavy. Of course I was buying Avowed. Dragon Age the Veilguard is definitely coming to Game Pass if it's not already in there. That motherfucker got cooked up by the market. I bought the fuck out of that game. I mean, I tried to buy a collector's edition. They didn't fucking give me one. They refunded the fuck out of me, so I just bought the game regular. I mean, I bought the deluxe edition, but I still bought the game regular, and it's digital. But let's keep going with this, bro, because Yoshida ass ain't stop. He said the notion that subscription services like Game Pass can gatekeep which games get added to the service. You know there's more indie developers turning down Game Pass deals than accepting them? Dude, who the fuck is Yoshida getting this information from? You know how many game developers like, yeah, Game Pass came to them with a little bag, and they're like, I don't need it. I don't remember the rat game. Was it a rat? I think it was a rat where you got like a sword and shit and side scrolling. Like that developer turned down the Game Pass deal, and then he made his second game, And he kind of wanted to get a Game Pass deal for it, and they was like, "Oh, buddy, you don't even fuck with us for real." That happened. What do you? Oh my goodness, Yoshida. Like this shit is public knowledge. There's no way he's just yapping like this. But I mean, he really don't fuck with Western development anyway. And then he said that as the game subscription services continue to expand their first party titles, why is it a bad thing? It will be harder for smaller developers to stand out. They literally give small developers a platform. Have you ever heard of ID at Xbox? Did you not just see the dev direct? What is going like? Why is Yoshida saying this shit, bro? Who is he saying this shit to? I don't remember. It said it earlier in the article. But who the fuck is he getting this information from? Because they literally put on showcases for the indie developers. They're literally putting their ass on front page, bro. People hate ads on Xbox and on gaming consoles in general, but Microsoft put a whole lot of. I could boot up Xbox right now, scroll down the main page. I bet it'd be some random ass indie game ads on there. Random ass developer ads. I've never even seen these fucking games before. I've never heard of them, but they're on the front page of my goddamn Xbox. So I'm gonna click on there and I'm gonna look at some of them bitches because that's how this shit goes. Like it's so crazy how people talk about Xbox like this. And then all of a sudden, they're easily proven wrong. On the front page, there's Outer Worlds coming up because that's June 8th. Giant sword sale, and you see a bunch of indie games in there. On the fucking window, Game Pass is here, Starfield is here. You scroll down, indie games, front page, bundle sales. These are normal games. New games coming out. These are random ass games. Dual paths? Who are these people? The bitches are on the front. This is the front of fucking Xbox, bro. Yoshida, what are you talking about? I don't know. Like I read this article and I'm like, Yoshida, who are you talking about? You're not talking about Game Pass. You're not talking about Microsoft Xbox Game Pass. You're not. Because all the things he's saying is so inconceivably wrong. It's crazy, bro. What do you mean that smaller developers is gonna make it harder to stand out? They literally put Sandfall on the front of the Xbox for how long? And Oblivion came out the second. Oh, my goodness, bro. The same week, Oblivion came out and Sandfall was on the front of Xbox, not Bethesda. And Microsoft owns Bethesda. Let's keep going. Then he says Sony has the healthier approach to subscription services. You mean not giving your customers not a damn thing to look forward to in your subscription? That's the healthier way? Locking fucking backwards compatibility behind a paywall of everybody that owns the goddamn console just so you could get them into the subscription service? It's the healthier way. It's absolutely outrageous that is what he thinks. But I mean, he worked at Sony for how long? He think that's the right way to go. Why? We gonna get to that because, not to overpromise and allow people to spend money to buy the new games. That is why. Because that good old fashioned, you should buy your games. You should own the games. You don't own these fucking digital products no more. Yoshida, you gotta get with the fucking times. No digital product that you buy, you own any of it. Unless you buy that shit on GOG, or what the hell is the other thing called? Where they just give you that shit, download it to your console. You don't need a fucking launcher to play it. You don't own any of it. You don't own shit on Steam. You don't own shit on Xbox, Microsoft Store, Battle.net, Ubisoft. You don't own none of that shit. The EA launcher, all those launchers, Epic. If they cut you off, everything you spent your fucking money on, Yoshida, is gone. So what's the point of buying all these new games again? Because you're going to be wasting fucking money if they kick you. That is why people justify Game Pass existing and Microsoft putting up all the fucking capital. Because why the fuck would I put up my money to just buying Borderlands 4? Why the fuck would I buy Borderlands 4? Do I look like a Borderlands 4 fan? I ain't like Borderlands since the first fucking game. If Borderlands dropped the Game Pass, do you think I wouldn't play it with the bros? I definitely would. But if it's Borderlands or something else, I'm going with something else. That is exactly how the gaming industry is going, Yoshida. It is so crazy that that he's talking all this nonsense, and then at the end they talk about how Ninja Gaiden 4 is already coming to Game Pass day one. And I'm like, yeah, Ninja Gaiden 4 is coming to Game Pass day one. And Microsoft is saving the fuck out of Platinum because Platinum has been struggling for a long time. Platinum has been struggling. That's a Japanese development studio. They've been struggling a long time, Yoshida. The last time PlayStation worked with them, that game got scrapped in months. It got scrapped in months. Microsoft was like, Platinum, get in here. Nigga, Team Ninja, let's make Ninja Gaiden again. And Microsoft put up the fucking capital for it. So what is he talking? Oh, it's so crazy. It's so wild that Yoshida was saying all this shit, bro. Because I'm like, either you're ill-informed or you're spreading misinformation. And it's because it's Yoshida, people kind of trust what he says. Sometimes, not all the time. Come on now, bro. Come on now, bro. And then CG Magazine is posted this shit is bad, bro. The interview was sad. None of this shit. Come on now. I can't. They got an Indiana Jones picture right here. Would Indiana Jones have been created by machine if Microsoft didn't fund that bitch? Are you crazy? Oh my goodness, bro. But yeah, I read this article so you don't have to. Make sure that like button, subscribe, and shit, Yoshida's talking out his ass now, bro. People gave that nigga a platform after he got fired from Sony, and that nigga start running wild with that shit, just like Sean Layden ass, bro. Just like Sean Layden ass. Now they just yapping on the internet. They ain't got shit else to do, but I mean, they can yap. I'm gonna just make videos about it. I'll see y'all in the next one.